Right out.
Yeah.
Or you can email.
What happened? Say it again.
They can email us the show.
If you need the audio for the show, you can have an email to you.
Oh, yes. Awesome. I would love it. That would be the first time that happened. Yeah.
But you got to let Patrick know.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know that. Is that Patrick?
There's two of us, so I was like, that one.
Three people want to take my theme song. I said, you can't have my theme song.
Great Rising, everybody.
Older than me.
Huh?
This
Hi,
song older than
Adriana.
me.
Hi,
What's
Tina.
wrong? But it's still important. It's the same message. Wake up.
Yeah.
This song is old as dirt.
I don't want that. Just because
It's effective. Huh?
the Bible,
still
is,
relevant.
the Bible is older than this. The Quran is older than this. And those truths
Hey,
are still
Terrell.
true.
Hi, Lakeisha. You guys come on in and hang out with me here on
the words are
WVON with
still
Terry
true.
Mason and Dr. Terry Mason. Yes, come and hang out with us. Hey, Trina. Hey, Carla. Hi, everybody. Great Rising. Hey. Thank you, Tina. Hey, Jasmine. Hi, Jess. How are you? Hey, Terrell. Debbie, come on in. Yes, I love it. Hey, Terrence. Come on in and chat with Coach Kelly and Dr. Terry Mason and his son, Terry Jr. Yes, let's do this. Hey, James, come on. Let's get it. We're about to give you all the real word. No.
Here we go. And good morning. This is your host, Dr. Terry Mason, the show, The Doctor in the House, and it's heard every Sunday at 10 a.m. right here on the Talk of Chicago, WVON, God's favorite radio station. This is our Sunday where we have the other part of the second generation of the Mason family here, and we've got a great show for you today, a great show. We're going to have a great talk, so please have everyone you know tune in, call them up, tell them to tune in to AM 1690. We're going to have a great show, and it's going to inspire, it's going to speak to the heart and soul of everybody that's out there. And this Sunday is always our Community Health Sunday. We're always looking at things that we can do to improve ourselves as a community, even if it's only a community of two. And so anytime you have more than one person, you have a community. So this is helping to improve our internal community, our community that lives in our house or in our apartment or in our wherever we are. That's what this helps to do. So I'm going to toss this over, and before I totally toss this over to Terry Mason Jr., we're going to have two things, and I want everyone to know that my son is probably one of the most, probably one of the most avid animal lovers I've ever seen. This is a child that ever since he was old enough to read, he's been reading dog books, and he knows and he has his own breed. He has his own line, his own line of dogs.
Wow!
And we're gonna get him to talk about. There's some things, and those of you who have pets, I want you to call in and let him know that you have questions, and that we're going to encourage him, not by shaming, but by encouragement, to continue doing what is his God-given purpose to do.
Yes.
So I want you all to call. All our lines are open. You can call us here, 591-1690, 591-1690. But in addition, I'm going to let him introduce his guests for this Sunday. So I'm going to Terry, take it away.
I can't say enough about this wonderful, special, 6-time author, life coach, and I'm going to let her tell the rest because it's too much. I have Coach Kelly Porter in the house right here. Never met her. Facebook works. And I've been following her. You should too. She's the bomb. Coach Kelly.
Thank you, Dr. Terry Mason and Terry Mason Jr. I'm excited to be here. Like, seriously, like, this is so awesome. I mean, I followed your father. He don't know. I used to stalk him on the internet. So I knew who he was.
We're talking about the same thing in a different way.
Okay, there you go. So I knew who you was. So the name like really rung a bell. And I was like, oh wow, that's what's up. I'd love to go over there. So that's why I thought you were the dad. You was like, no, I'm the son. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'll take the son.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I'm excited to be here, and my husband's right alongside with me. You know, I gotta have my team Turner right here because you know we do this. This is the work that we do. But I'm excited to be here. I'm open to talk about whatever you guys want to chat about, whether it's self-sabotage, whether it's the journey to health and healing, you know, whatever's going to help the community.
Well, first
that's
of all,
why I'm here.
What you and your husband do?
All right, so for me, I am a 6-time author, personal development and wellness coach. I'm also a professional speaker. I kind of started this journey 10 years ago, as I mentioned earlier. I wrote my first book, Perfectly Planned. Wasn't really equipped to what was going to happen after that first book. I just wrote it, and I remember sitting in my parking lot crying. And I was like, why did I write this book? I just told all my business. Everybody's going to know who I slept with. Everybody's going to know I was molested. And I didn't realize there was something bigger coming out of this book. I didn't realize the millions of people who needed to hear this story because their story was my story. And even after that, I kept, as we talked earlier about this purpose, kept feeling this niche, like you got to write this second book, now you got to talk about domestic violence, now you got to talk about this. And that literally led me from my first book to doing TV, to radio, magazines, and becoming a 6-time author, and then becoming a coach. And now this is what I do, full-time, no punch clock, and I'm absolutely loving my life. Now, as far as me and my husband, Team Turner, we do community work on live videos where we actually speak to the community about relationships. Our relationship was very, very, very toxic, all capital letters. It was really toxic because we come from a space of toxicity, sexual abuse and incest and not having our parents, and we kind of raised that pain. And so when we met each other, it was explosive. Like most relationships, it was very explosive. There was a lot of fire. We were burning each other, disrespectful. But through that, we've been able to heal each other. You know, I've been able to help him go inside of him and look at his pain. He's been able to help me go inside of me and look at my pain. And of course, through the grace of the universe providing us with each other, now we're in a space that we can actually give ourselves together as a married couple to the universe and help other people heal their marriages.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
6 books, and what are their titles?
Right. So my first book, Perfectly Planned, Overcoming Incest, Rape, and Sexual Abuse. The second book, Overcoming Toxic Relationships, Creating Power from Past Pain. Third book is Mental Makeover, Creating a Positive Mindset. And Perfectly Planned also has a workbook. And that book is really for people who don't want to hire me immediately, and then they'll purchase Perfectly Planned workbook and they get to work on themselves in the comfort of their home. And then there's It's All About Life, which is a book of poems. And then my most recent book, Detox or Diet, Closing the Gap Between Disease and Death, is my true story of releasing thousands of intestinal worms from my body, having many, many diseases such as hypothyroidism, early stage heart disease, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, alopecia, everything you can think of, my body has experienced it. And I learned once I cleaned out my colon,
wow,
everything just went away. So this book is, 3 of these books are international, and Detox or Diet is so far my favorite because I've been able to raise my vibration. I released 47 pounds, quit smoking cigarettes, and I'm at my best. I'm running a mile in 10 and a half minutes. How cool is that?
That's wonderful.
Yes, it is. Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes.
Mr. Turnover there.
Yes.
How do you feel being part of the Coach Kelly brand team?
Man, I'm gonna tell you,
How's it feel?
it's a wonderful feeling, man. And I thank you guys for allowing her to come on and express herself and showing love to you guys. Like I said, she followed you guys, and she was also telling you about, like she said, she followed her husband. When you contact her, when Junior contacted, she thought Junior was daddy. So I was like, I said, well, hey, you can't go wrong. You got 2 in the right place, so you might as well just go with the flow. But the ideal of, like my wife was saying, that we was healing by our relationship was so toxic by a lot of stuff. I'm gonna give a matter of fact. My example is I read one of her books. Matter of fact, I read a Perfectly Planned book, and as I was reading that book, I'm like, babe, so you saying I've been molested? So it was like a lot of stuff that I didn't understand or didn't know, because I'm just thinking as a kid, especially young black men, you having sex at an early age, you think you're doing something. We think we have
Right, I actually thought it was cool.
Right, you thought,
Really?
and
Yes.
we thought, putting trophies on our belts and saying, oh, I got an older girlfriend, I slept with somebody, but we didn't know that we got our innocence snatched away from us. So learning with my wife, she just teaching me a lot of stuff, and I'm so grateful for it that she kind of like just coached me, because in that I was emotionless.
Yes.
I never knew how to cope with anything with feeling. My guard was always up, and I was just always like, pissed. And I was taught to hate women by a woman.
Yeah.
Wow. So in this molestation. So my wife, she's sticking by my side, and like she said, we was like fire because we 2 days apart on our birthday. We both Leos. So the house is like burning up.
Strong.
Right. So we just,
male and female life.
Right, yeah. It just ain't no last words. So we just decide, we gonna work this thing out. And like my wife said, we got to a point where we want to leave each other, just say, give up. But we chose to stay and stick in there and, work this thing out. And here we are today. So
yeah, it's phenomenal.
Right. I give a lot of praises to my wife because, another thing a lot of men don't do, they don't want to listen to their women.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Especially if they have something good for you. It's not about control. It's about, just bringing substance to the table. So what she was showing me is just, I'm not raising my voice because I know when you hear things, it's like, this is what you was taught as a child. Mm-hmm. So I was taking everything to heart, like you're saying. It's just, it was explosive. Mm-hmm. So I never knew how to cope with it.
Yeah.
But being with my wife, she just showed me like, okay, let me show you something a different way and just follow me.
Just receive it.
So now I'm being open.
Yeah.
And life is getting better. And we doing things on a whole nother level. I train, she trains with me, she teach, I'm learning. So, hey, you got a mind, body, and soul thing going. Yeah. So I appreciate my wife. So.
Yay! Thank you.
Coach Kelly.
Yes.
I saw you live one day. I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw you with the Clippers. As a woman, I had to say this, and this is what made me inbox you. Honestly, as a woman, I saw you shave your hair, and you did it as a girl proudly.
Yes.
And look. I have to get you to expound on what that meant.
Okay, so that particular day, I've been cutting my hair. I actually been wearing my hair short since I was in my early 20s. I had a little fro, very small fro. But that particular moment came from me being sick. Doctors couldn't necessarily diagnose the hair loss as alopecia because it didn't follow alopecia. The fungal infection, the candida yeast was eating all of my nutrition. But since I was used to having a bald head, I said, you know what? I'm going to cut my hair off anyway because I did it every 3 days. I said, let me go live and do it. I said, let me help somebody else be comfortable with not having hair. I said, let me make women see that your hair does not determine you. Your hair does not make you. So let me do it live. Let me let them inside of my world when I take these clippers and I put them to my head. And I just went with it because I want people to see that I don't care about the construct of what a woman's supposed to look like or the societal norm.
Absolutely.
I don't care about that. You don't get to dictate what being a woman is to me because I'm a woman, right? So I get to choose what space I want to be in as a woman. And I wanted to put that out there so that the women who may have a bald spot, right, and she want to cover it up with a wig, or the woman who may, not have long hair the way she wanted, maybe it's kinky or whatever. I want people to feel comfortable. Just embrace who you are. Embrace it, love it, and don't care about what society deems as normal. That's not your normal.
That's really important you make this point about kinky, because that gets to another another level of consciousness that we've embodied, that we've been a part of. And when we see, when Kenneth Clark did the experiment with the black dolls and the white dolls, we saw young children still looking and identifying themselves as ugly and
yes,
as not worthy. Kira Davis, the young 16-year-old girl who was on the Oprah Winfrey Show, who did it again. And there was an episode where she used the same black dolls, and it was one of the most heartbreaking parts of that was when she asked the black girl which of the dolls was she, and the black girl reached for the white doll. Wow. And then she had to stop, pause, think, and then reluctantly turn her head and grab the black doll.
Wow.
Okay, and then Anderson Cooper just did it again with the University of Chicago, where this bias that we have, which has been ingrained in us, which is a part of the global white supremacy strategy.
Yes.
Not only here, when I said global, it's global.
Everywhere.
One of the largest leading selling things on the continent and in many countries is skin bleaching cream.
Yes.
And I have pictures that I have in my presentations where we have men who have bleached all the skin in their entire body using these very high concentration quinolone type compounds. But even though if you don't bleach your skin externally, we're still dealing with our bleached skin internally.
Yes, sir.
And it drives what we consider beautiful. It drives what we consider things we need to buy.
Yes.
And it's driving a market that's keeping women in other countries bald.
Yes.
As we're buying all of this hair from other countries, trying to cover up our own natural hair. So this issue of self-hatred.
Self-hatred, yes.
Permeates us in ways that we still are suffering from, and we're passing that on to our children.
Yes.
You dark, you just like your dark daddy, or you just like your dark skin mama. I mean, these are things that now when we talk about racial issues, I understand the white supremacist strategy. I get that.
Yes.
But now I've got to understand. We've got to figure out, and that's why it's so great that you're here with your husband.
Yes.
To really talk about how do you begin to restart your self-love clock.
Yes, absolutely. I'll respond really quickly to the whole skin bleaching thing. In my journey of healing, one of the things that occurred was the toxins that was being released into my skin. I'm not sure if you saw the video. It was viewed 1.9 million times on Facebook globally. And that video, I mean, to me, it was almost like Elephant Man. That's how damaged my skin was. And if you look at how societal normalizing again, your skin is supposed to look this way. It's supposed to look that way. I went live on that video because I wanted people to embrace whatever mishap, whatever it is, dysfunction that you think that is ugly. I want you to look at this. Because if I can show you this, then you can accept absolutely anything about you. And let me tell you, I'm going to take my jacket off so that you can see. I show mine proudly, Dr. Mason, because I am not my skin, right? I am a beautiful soul, right, who's serving the universe. And so when you look at my arms, see the dark pigmentation? I exposed that. And this summer, I'm excited to wear shorts. This is over 70% of my body. I am not my skin. No one dictates or determines what beautiful looks like to me. When I look in the mirror says you're gorgeous. And I have to be with that because this is mine. There's beauty behind this. There's the quitting of cigarettes, right? 30 years. There's the healing my body. There's the no more taking medicine. There's healing in this. There's power in this. So I cannot perceive this as ugly. And I think the biggest issue is as we look at our history or historical experiences, if you cannot embrace those, how do you embrace the space you're in now? So just going back to the hair piece and the whole white supremacy, when we're taught to hate ourselves as children, we never go back to childhood. We never want to revisit those issues. So if you're not revisiting the self-hatred that you had in your childhood, you're not revisiting it in your adulthood. So when you see a lot of us slapping the wigs on our head, slapping the makeup, the bleaching cream, we're in self-hatred mode. We are. I mean, even as my husband, that was one of the issues that he had as a child, being verbally abused by his own kind for being dark-skinned. I just had my husband do a project. We went live again. His challenge was, I want you to embrace your greatness. I want you to stop wearing hats. Take the hat off. Stop hiding your beauty. Expose that beautiful dark skin that you have. And I had him do it live on Facebook. And for 30 days, every time you walk into a building, you have to take that hat off. And you have to consciously take it off. And if you don't, I say greatness. That's all I say to him, greatness. And he removed help to teach him that he's beautiful. His dark skin is glowing, stunningly beautiful, right? Because a lot of dark-skinned women and men are suffering from self-hatred because we've been taught to hate ourselves. And I'll share this really quickly. When my hair was growing back, one of the most phenomenal experiences to me was my son. He had never really witnessed me having hair because I've always worn it short. And prior to me becoming sick, I was letting my hair grow back and it was in the kinky state and I was loving it. I was loving my hair. I was twisting it every day and I was moisturizing with shea butter and coconut oil and I was embracing because I was like, yes, I'm 40 something and this is my first time doing my natural hair because I've always been permed. But when it got about that long, my son said, Mama, your hair looks so beautiful. I was like, oh, to hear a black boy embrace, to hear him say, Mama, your hair looks so beautiful. He brought me to tears. And I was like, you think so, Shema? He was like, yes, and I'm going to let my hair grow back. And he let his hair grow. For me, that meant he embraced his blackness. Yes. Right? So when I say we as, and we're not black, but I'll just go with that for the sake of America, right? But for...
we got to start referring to ourselves as color.
Right, because that's a color.
Yeah, exactly.
Has anyone even paid attention that when you're typing on Microsoft Word and you write the word black, that it doesn't make you capitalize the letter B, but if you write Hispanic and small h, it makes you capitalize because Hispanic is a nationality. Black is a color. We're not black. Right? But I mean, like, it's just we as these melanated babies, we truly gotta really recognize our greatness and just how beautiful we are, because we are all shades of beauty, plain and simple.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So as you said, your husband had issues.
Yes.
Because we in the movie Black Girls, if you remember that movie, there's the movie that depicts a lot of these attitudes about black girls not wanting to date dark-skinned men and men not wanting to date. These are all these sorts of things.
My husband didn't want to date, but other than light-skinned women. Yeah, that's it.
You talk about experience. You know, it's funny that we on this subject because even though that I was getting ridiculed about my skin at that age, at the young age, you know, of course you're going to get it from the kids is one thing, but primarily, I was getting it more from the adults.
Wow.
I was getting any kind of name that you could think of as the meaning to black, from monkey boy
charcoal.
to charcoal.
Yeah.
I mean, as a kid, and you know, you think about this as 5 years old, you know, how damaging. So, you know, I'm just thinking, okay, what did I do wrong? And then getting sit at a table by myself when everybody else get fed, you know, it was just like the whole Jim Crow law in our own community.
Yeah.
I was just going through those kind of experiences. So coming up like that, it just it really damaged me. I didn't know to what extent, and I didn't know that my child was still suffering from it. So I'm growing up with this thing, and not only that, being taught to hate all women, but for the long haul of this whole conversation, I was hating everything of
dark skin. Yep.
I never appreciated dark skin. I started hating light skin. So I was hating all colors at one point. So, you know, it never mattered. So if I see a light skinned cat, you know, I never liked him. But if I see somebody of my pigmentation, he was getting it. You know, it's just like no remorse, no care, no feeling.
I picked up on it the way he took pictures. He would take pictures and turn his face to the side. And me being a coach, you know, I'm trained to see things I can't see, hear things I can't hear, and feel things, you know, that are not being shared or whatever. And I would notice his pictures would always be to the side. And I would say, hey, let me see you take a picture. No, I don't want to take a picture. I'm good.
Or with the hats on.
Yeah, well, and I picked up the self-hatred right there. So, you know, it's been an honor helping my black brother, you know, learn to love himself. Absolutely.
Well, you know, this is great. We're going to continue the conversation. You're listening to Doctor in the House right here on AM 1690 WVON. Please give us a call, area code 773-591-1690. We'll be right back with more of the Doctor in the House right after this.
Yay.
That was
I love it.
It is wonderful. Oh,
Yay, you guys enjoying?
But you know,
Don't get me started on this white supremacy now, doctor. Because you
Don't get me started.
I'm in school for my master's of social work. I'm dealing with it daily.
I got vibrations on the phone right now.
Oh God, are you serious?
Oh yeah. With this, I resident white racist that I was here. I'm not gonna waste my time.
Right, you know, because oh God.
Because he's going to try and he's just to deflect the conversation.
Yeah, he's a deterrent. That's all he is.
This is an internal conversation.
Yeah.
It's positive, right?
Yes, absolutely.
It is positive.
Yes.
So, and yes, this happened to us.
Yes.
And yes, it was purposeful.
Yes.
And yes,
Absolutely.
it demeaned us. It
Yes.
hurt us. It kept us. Actually, when we were reflecting on the Martin Luther King thing this weekend, I said, you know, back in those days, I heard, but I wasn't really I wasn't really with it. I joined the Nation of Islam because I was like, you know what? White people been white people since they've been here. They're going to continue doing what they're doing. I ain't walking out there and having nobody throw no bricks at me and all that kind of stuff. For what?
Exactly.
To just get the, should we have had the right to live where we want to live? Yes, but what we should be doing is making where we are where we want to live.
Where we want to live. That's
and
right.
develop our own communities.
That's right. Our own
develop
communities.
our own
Yes.
neighborhoods. And
Yes.
I mean, I look over the 50 years that King's been gone, and we've lost 30 black automobile dealerships, 4 black banks.
Schools.
I mean, we've lost all of the 87th, most of the 80th. You remember the 87th Street corridor? All the businesses you built, Contaminate, all that's gone.
Wow.
Gone.
Wow.
Imperial Carpeting. I mean, a lot of the businesses are
yeah.
gone, and so
too.
that's how we got started talking about this. Because where is there is no health in our community without economic.
That's right. That's right. I agree. And then even with that, I
And
think
we got money. Money is money is
that's
not
why
the
everybody's
problem.
rich. That's why everybody's rich. It's our money.
And that's on the what you call that? That's on the what they
Tide.
yeah, the tithe.
Tithe.
Yeah.
They get $14
Or
million.
the building fund.
Right, yeah. Every Sunday, the black church takes in $14 million nationwide.
And what is the black church doing with the community?
Absolutely nothing.
But that's
On a holistic level, nothing. It's
the other thing we gotta look at-
exceptions. But holistically, I say they do nothing.
Well, let me
Absolutely
say
nothing. this,
Terry.
Nothing with
We
the resources.
we
they get.
have
Oh.
I ain't talking about your church. I'm talking about the
Right.
church. Big. Now, you finna go in there with
we
your
spend
church.
$3 trillion
Wow.
as a community.
Yeah.
$3
A year.
trillion
Annually.
a year.
Yes, sir.
So we got money.
Yes.
Yeah. So we ain't broke. So I don't
Yes.
say that. Well, we ain't got it. No, we got it.
Yeah.
It's just what we do. with
And
it.
we're back, and we had such a stimulating conversation. If you're just joining us, this is the Doctor in the House right here on AM 1690 WVON. We're having a great conversation, and I'm going to have my son reintroduce our guest. And we want you to join the conversation here, 591-1690, 591-1690. We didn't get a chance to take any calls during the first segment of the show, but we'll try and take a few calls during the second segment of the show. And I want us to get into this whole, you talked about this problem that we have with getting in our own way, so to speak.
That's self-sabotage.
Self-sabotage.
Yes, self-sabotage. It's one of the things I teach my clients, how not to self-sabotage. But I think one of the things
What is it and where does it come from?
All right, so self-sabotage, it's basically ego or your little self. And it's basically when we destroy our own lives, but then we point the finger. A lot of us don't even understand the term self-sabotage because we've been conditioned to say, you're the reason I feel the way I feel. You're the reason I think the way I think. And you're the reason why I behave. So if I punched you in your throat, you're the reason I did that. We dare to stop and look at what our thoughts are, what our behaviors were, and who we were as a child. There's something called the subconscious mind. It stores 90 to 98% of your thoughts, emotions, patterns, behaviors, things that are programmed in you even while you're in your mother's womb, right? And so a lot of this energy that's there, it's in your subconscious mind. So when we meet people are just triggers, right? They're just triggers. They're just eliciting a response from us. So when we respond destructively, or we react destructively because we're not making a choice to go back and say, hey, what happened in your childhood? What's the narrative of your childhood? What's your narrative of your childhood that you couldn't have this, you can't have that, you ain't gonna ever be this, or you ain't gonna ever be that? Were you always degraded? Were you always put down? Were you in a loving home? Were you in a home that raised you up and elevated you and raised your vibration? What was the energy that you were in? Because if you're not looking at that, you just raise that same energy, that which is destructive energy. And the first person you're going to destroy is yourself. So what does that look like? I'll give you an example. Me and my husband had this conversation yesterday. I'm a woman, so naturally people are not going to think that I know anything about cars. Most people say that's a man's thing, right? Well, I was one of those women who always went into the garage to watch them work on my cars because I wanted to know what was going on. So if my husband and I are working on this car and there's something that I know, and I know, and that I know he may not be doing correctly, my job is to say, hey, that piece doesn't go there. You need to put this piece. If he makes a conscious choice to say, no, you don't know what you're talking about because he's a man, right? Because he's a man, and the man has already been taught to look down on a woman, right? We're secondary, we're inferior. So therefore what he says is absolutely right just by default. If he doesn't hear me try to educate him on this part, he's going to destroy himself. Now what's going to happen? You're going to get in that car, you'll be on the expressway, something happens. That's self-sabotage. We don't listen. We don't listen to our spirits. We don't listen to those people that are in our circle trying to help us. We choose to make a conscious choice to say, I don't have to hear you. I don't have to listen to you. And then when the destruction comes, because pride comes before destruction, when that destruction hit, you're the reason it happened. The tree was in the way, right? We don't look at ourselves. If you don't look at you, how can you elevate? If you're not looking at your challenges or your belief system, if you're not looking at your belief system, the things that your parents raised you in, because they're not always right. If you're not going back to examine those things, how do you know the way you're living is even of substance? How do you know it's even serving you a purpose? How do you know it's good for you if you're not looking at how you were raised? We're just, the first 50 years of childhood are the hardest. The first 50 years of childhood are the hardest. So when people say they're grown, if you're grown, why are you still learning? Nobody's grown. We're still learning because we're still children of the universe. However, when we sabotage ourselves, it's simply because we're not listening. That little child, that little fearful person is in your way. That person needs to be healed. That person needs to come up and feel safe. But the only way that's going to happen, you got to go back there and revisit those childhood traumas. That's the destruction right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what? I actually watched a person their whole entire life self-sabotage, and how they did it was blame.
Yes.
It was this person's fault.
Yes.
If this person would have did this, I would have did that.
Exactly.
I was in the household with that my entire childhood.
Wow.
I saw it.
Wow.
Blame game.
Wow.
This is his fault, her fault, why I'm here. Which is totally inconsistent. But growing up like that, if you see somebody point fingers, what do?
Exactly.
Point fingers.
Point fingers.
Because you've been raised, it's been indoctrinated into
Yes.
how you are
Yes.
been taught. I say that to say that this is why you are such an inspiration
Thank
to
you.
me, because I saw it. You are your own worst enemy or your own best friend.
That's right.
And what I got from you was pain is power.
Yes.
Pain is power.
Yes.
In the past 4 years, I've had two orthopedic surgeries. So since 2014 till now, from 2014 till 17, I virtually couldn't walk.
Wow. Wow.
Literally
Wow.
could not walk. I started therapy September 6, 2016 with a woman named Tuesday. And she helped me get back together.
And look
Last
at you.
Tuesday, I went and squatted 275
Woo!
or something. I was told I was never going to be able to
Yes.
do again. So I was in the gym every day working, and pain is power. But that self-sabotage is that person took all them years, point. And what that person did was took that energy,
That's right.
much like what I'm doing now,
Yes.
and do it for yourself.
That's right. That's
You
right.
are in control of your own destiny. In my personal opinion, who you are is a combination of from your ages 4 to 12 and your adult experiences.
That's right.
Stir that up, and that's what you get.
Mix it all
that's
up.
you.
That's right.
That's you.
I agree.
So,
I agree.
So and self-sabotage is so real.
It is.
And I want to say that too with now, I have a phrase that the relationship, not you guys, because you guys are wonderful. I love it. But
Appreciate it.
the relationship now is the new drug.
It
and
is.
what does a drug do? It takes you out of your own reality. It disenables you to say, hey, I have an issue.
There's no
I
growth.
want to deal with it.
Yes.
So you entangle yourself in someone else to really pull you off yourself, just like a drink does,
Yes.
just like a weed does or crack. So
Take you away from the moment.
absolutely. So what I heard from y'all today was absolutely powerful. You the first couple I heard said, look, you helped me heal.
Yes.
You helped me heal, and we
Yes.
healed as one.
That's right.
And so that's why I have to reach out to you, and I respect and
Thank
admire
you.
you.
Thank you.
I've been told by my father and other people that Terry, start writing. Start
Yes.
writing. Dogs is cool. I love dogs. That's there. I'm kind of mentally arrogant because I think I am the best. So I don't have to
Nothing wrong
even
with that, though.
worry about dogs. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I got this. But I've been told that, Pain is Power. Terry, start writing.
Yes.
Start writing.
Yes.
And then I see you here with 6 books. You know what? I'm gonna start writing. Real talk. So I mean, you don't know. I'm extremely excited to
Thank
see
you.
realism and things of that nature. And we were just talking about some other issues when you first got here and when we was on break. And what happened, for lack of better terms, is that the black bourgeois, how we were just talking about, sometimes will try to stifle and or don't accept. And I am so with you that you don't even know that you stood up. This me. This what I do. This my story. What's up?
That's right.
I'm that person all day long, like all day long. So anything that you can, any kind of support, you got it.
Yeah.
Because this is for that child right now that's on 79th and Racine, Gap Roaches, and really don't think he can't go nowhere. Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Your pain is your power.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? All the time. So
It really is.
This is really,
Giving me chills.
really instrumental. So thank you again, Coach Kelly, and you can have the floor back. I just had to get that off my chest.
Like I love how you kept repeating pain is power, pain is
it
power. We need to indoctrinate that to everybody. Pain is power.
Pain is power. And actually, just very quickly, I was at a seminar talking about the heroin problem.
Opiates.
Opiates. Yeah. Well, it's been around for a long time. It's
Yeah.
not new. And one of the things that I approached it from was that all these people, what are opioids? They dissociate you from your pain.
Yes.
Yeah.
They don't believe you.
Yes.
They
Yes.
dissociate.
Right.
Yes.
It takes you out of your reality.
It says that your pain, if you've got pain, and I had the unfortunate situation I have to need that for a while when I had chest pain. I was in the emergency room, and they gave me morphine IV. And what happened was, like, my chest pain was now not in my chest anymore, but it was over in the corner.
Yeah, exactly.
I know it sounds crazy.
Yes,
right?
I get it.
But it's a dissociative
Yes,
drug.
yes.
And because I was asking the question, why is it that when people find out that we have fentanyl laced heroin, they all
Yes.
flock there.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
They flock there knowing that this could kill them. Now, fentanyl is a drug, as a surgeon, we used in the operating
It's about
room
100 times powerful than
than
morphine, right? Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
right.
Yeah.
And what we use it for is we use it so that people don't feel pain.
Hospice?
No. When we're operating on
When
it.
you're operating, okay.
And so what happens
Wow.
is the way that fentanyl kills people is that these very, very potent drugs depress your respiratory system. That's how they work. So it's okay because we've got a tube down your throat and we put you on a
Exactly.
machine and we're breathing for you while you're
Yes,
asleep.
Yes.
But when you take these things and there's no one there when your respiratory system is depressed and you're not breathing, that's what causes death
It's over.
from these drugs.
Wow.
And that's what causes people to die.
Wow.
Because their respiratory center has been. Now, that's
Wow.
a whole nother lesson between how your centers get depressed by things that you take externally that create a problem for you internally that actually could kill you.
Wow.
And that's what I hear you. I mean, I'm using a lot of
Yeah,
metaphors
yeah,
here.
yeah.
But we're joined now by Miss Shakira. Shakira, you're on the air. Go right ahead.
All right.
Very good.
Well, thank you so much. And all of us can learn from this.
Yes.
Because, and see, I think, Terry, what you brought up about the blaming,
Yes.
see, we get to blaming ourselves sometimes.
All the time.
In fact, when you look at people to blame, you begin to blame yourself as why you're a victim of where you are. When
Exactly.
when it's not you,
Right.
it's been what you've been exposed to.
Exactly.
And sometimes it takes a lifetime to make that move.
It took me a lifetime. Yeah. It took me an absolute lifetime after experiencing incest and rape and sexual abuse and attempting suicide twice and spending time in 2 mental institutions and then attempting suicide again, even in my 30s. It took me a lifetime to just really, really go back and examine everything. And I've been doing this work since I was about 22, but when I started the work, I didn't realize what was to come. There were, like you said, there were times I wanted to suppress. I would drink alcohol until I was in, stupors. I didn't want to see my reality, the reality that I thought I was a whore, the reality that I thought I would never be anything. These things I was told, I made them mine, and they were my reality, and I wanted to suppress those things. And it took me all the way up until I was about 40. I'm 46, so maybe 42, to really say, hey, create a new narrative for your life. Those are your experiences. They don't have to be who you are today. And even after writing my first book, I was still in that space of self-hatred. Still there, even after writing my first book. It takes a lifetime to really become into the space that you just love and adore who you are. And what's amazing is I learned to truly love myself in a space where society deemed as completely ugly. I learned to love myself when I was completely damaged. Because that was the most powerful moment for me, because I realized that something huge is about to happen. Let me love on this right now. Let me learn to love this right now, this space that I'm in, because the person that I'm about to become is going to be that person I've been looking for all my life. So I made it through that pain and created this person that stands before you today.
What is your inspiration? What is Coach Kelly's coach?
My inspiration is truly love, the universe, God, the divine, the source, whatever you choose to call it. That's my inspiration. My inspiration says that the universe wants me to have abundance. The universe wants me to be happy. The universe says I have everything I need inside of me. All you need to do is tap into it. Stay in your love space. Do all things in love. Love is my inspiration. Because without love, what is it? What is there without love? Nothing. There is absolutely nothing without love. And so with that, I can do all things. That's my inspiration. It really is.
Coach Kelly, I just got to give you this little quick tidbit before we get off. I was doing a talk for the men's conference for a couple churches. And the topic was, what was God's greatest gift? And so to me, what the Spirit gave me was God's greatest gift is He allows us to be co-creators with Him.
Yes. Let's conspire together. Yes.
So, what I mean when it says, let us make man in our likeness and image, when a man and woman lay down, they have a child, they are creating life.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And that is the image of God.
Yes.
But when we look at the fertilization process, I tell people you're more special than you think. Do you know that perhaps over 499,999,999 sperm died so that you could be born.
For that one little one to get in there.
One, you could be born.
Yes, yes.
Through. And there's a video I show about what the perils of this whole fertilization process is.
Wow.
And how special we need to be about preserving and trying to create that.
Yes.
Because we don't know what it took to get there.
Yes.
Just to get to the point where you became a fertilized egg. So I just wanted to drop that
Absolutely.
in your
I love
spirit.
it. I love it. Yeah.
And for your husband, let me ask you, so how do you, men, I hear men out there now, they was like, how do you deal with this strong woman? How are you still, what kind of guy are you?
Well, it's like this. In the beginning, I couldn't handle her. I'm going to be honest.
But why did you feel you needed to handle her?
Well, you know what? Like I said, being taught, what we was taught, is always feel like we was in some kind of control. And then going through what I was going through, it's like I would never let nobody tell me what I can do, how I can do it, and when I can do it. So at this particular time, meeting my wife, which is a mirror image of me, knowing that if I speak at her, she gonna speak it back. So listen to her sometimes, or just hearing her how she talk, I kind of start gravitating to it, because I know we just can't overpower each other. We got to learn from each other. At one point, I was hating on her because the way she speak and how she speak was something that I wanted to do. But instead of asking her for help or asking her how to teach me how to speak, I kind of got envious about it.
Yeah.
So
amazing.
in
Amazing.
the presence of everything, I started learning to settle down, and I started coming to it, because I know with us together, I know we can be powerful.
Yes.
Individually, I know it's easy to be separated, or somebody can always deem you to say, okay, you are not going to amount to nothing. And I've been hearing that a lot as a child. You're not going to amount to nothing, or you can't do this. Even when I started playing in the leagues and stuff like that, they was like, You can't play basketball, you too big. You can't play football, you too slow, whatever. Well, come to find out, I was one of the fastest guys in football, playing the quarterback and running back. And then when I started playing basketball, I ended up being made some good challenges. I played with some of the best. So for somebody to tell a child it's something that he can't do, and like you said, we creators of ourselves, God give us that kind of power. We can do all things. And so I never let, knowing now, I know I can do more than what I should do and how I can do it. So in the essence of dealing with this strong woman, I had to let go of the ego. My ego was taking charge of a whole lot of things. So listening to her, hearing her say certain things, watching how she moved, it's something that I wanted to do, but my ego was so strong and in the way, it was just like, well, that's nothing. Don't pay no attention to it. But who I was hurting myself. I wasn't hurting her, I was hurting me. So in order
Self-Sabotage.
for me to get powerful, I had to embrace that. So her power gave me power.
Yes.
I literally had to watch her. I literally had to watch her. She had to die to me in certain areas for me to live.
Yes.
So when she did that just kind of spun.
Again?
She had to die in certain areas in order for me to live.
Tell me what that means.
That means that the things that I took for granted in her, she had to stop doing.
I had to literally take myself from
her. For me
her.
to see her as the woman that she is, as the powerful woman that she is.
Absolutely.
I had to take myself from him.
That made me a powerful man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know I have a beautiful alpha woman. I'm alpha, but when it comes to her, I'm beta. Because, two fires is not going to we ain't going to do nothing but just get bigger.
Yeah.
So, but outside of her, the alpha will stand back out. But I'm learning to be the man that we decide what we want in our relationship. Yeah. The man that listens to her, the man that loves her, the man that gives her strength when she needed. Someone they can cry on, that I can finally caress my wife in a way that I never could as a child, because like I said, I never knew about emotions. She's teaching me about getting my emotion back, how my thoughts and how my opinions are important. Yeah. As kids, we ain't been hearing that. All the thing I've been hearing is how black you are, how dumb you are. You're not going to amount to nothing. So to come from that process to switch back over, it was just like, it's an aha moment for me.
Yes. Yes.
What I got from that statement is, just because you have a strong woman does not mean you have to be a weak man.
That's
right. I dig that.
Yes.
I like how that's being shown. Yes. I like how that's being demonstrated, because your strength and her being who she is, you both gain power from each other.
From each other.
You both gain that power from each other.
Absolutely.
So that's something that really needs to be shared. Next time we're gonna dig more into that, because we have a lot of brothers. Yeah. I call them Bobby Browns that have a problem with being a strong man, even though you're married to a strong woman.
Right.
Strong woman. It's not stronger. It's not who's the strongest. Yeah. We're strong
together.
Because as a unit, she wouldn't be. As a unit, you guys are very powerful. Individually, she wouldn't be who she is, and you wouldn't be who you are. So
I agree.
So that power comes for the unity.
Yes, the unity.
That's what it is.
Yes.
And I really commend you guys, and I want you to come back, Coach Kelly.
Yes.
Give the public all your info, how to find these, Facebook Live, all that, everything, where you are, what events you have coming up.
Yes.
You said.
Real quick, so my Silence No More seminar, April 22nd from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Absolutely Anything Essential gift shop at 3521 South King Drive. This seminar is for men and women, but brothers are going to be sharing their stories of sexual abuse. And if the women come out, the women get to understand why the men behave the way that they do, and so we can start to embrace our black brothers. Seriously, come to the event. The ticket is $55. It includes includes book and brunch. So where can you find me? My website is www.KELLEYPORTER.com, kellyporter.com. I am Coach Kelly P on all of social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+, all of those social medias is Coach Kelly P, and it's Kelly with an EY. If you don't put my extra E in there, you're not going to find me. You're not going to find me.
Shakira, did you have any question?
No, I just think it's great. I just have one small quick point is that when we were children, you were raised to keep your business in your house. And being a child play, right? You can't say certain things, you can't tell certain things. And I think we have to now raise our children differently to make a choice. To address what's bothering them, that kids see what they feel.
Yes.
A lot of times when it's not spoken, it's never heard. And when it's never heard, it's never healed.
That's right.
Oh, absolutely.
I agree.
That's powerful. When it's
That was
never
good.
heard,
It's never healed. That's
wow,
right.
That's
That's
powerful.
right.
good.
Absolutely. I love that. I love
Yeah,
that.
I love that.
Yeah.
Terry, any final words?
Man, thank you for answering my Facebook message. I'm so happy you guys will be back
Yes.
this year. Coach
Yes.
Kelly will be back. And Mr. Turner. And was that you who was bench
Bench
pressing
pressing me?
Coach
Yeah,
Kelly?
yeah.
See, I watch y'all, man. See, I be watching you.
I appreciate
I love it.
I saw you
appreciate
getting it
it.
in.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, how much she weigh? I wonder if I could bench press a woman too. So I'm on that next too. I want to get with that.
Let's get that information one
One more time.
because people didn't get a chance to write it all down.
All right, so my Silence No More seminar is April 22nd from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Absolutely Anything Essential Gift Shop, 3521 South King Drive on the 3rd floor, and there's free parking in the rear. The tickets are $55 and includes brunch and one of my wonderful books. Gentlemen are going to be there speaking about their experiences with childhood abuse, whether it's sexual, physical, emotional, or verbal. The ladies need to come so that they can support the brothers. If you're in a relationship and you're questioning why your man is behaving the way he's behaving, I think this event will be a good source that you can learn, and you can learn to understand your husband or your boyfriend, because if you understand him and his behaviors, then you can support him and not degrade him. So please come out. Again, Absolutely Anything Essential, April 22nd. That's a Sunday, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., 3521 South King Drive, 3rd level, parking in the rear. Tickets are $55. If you go to my page, Coach Kelly P, you'll find all the information right there. Coach Kelly.
And I have a childhood friend, Jillian Collins, said, "Hey, Queen sister, she loves you and she will be at your event."
Yay!
So I told her.
Awesome.
No. Coach?
Hey, I think my wife and you guys said a mouthful. I am speechless.
Thank you.
Thank you for
guys
having
again.
us.
Thank you guys
Yeah.
for coming. And I want my book.
Yes.
I ain't forgot.
So
I
I'm going to do something really quick. So because I love the Masons, so Terry, no one has ever got to do this. He gets to pick a book. Yeah.
I want the deep top.
Oh, he
I want
won.
the
That's
deep top. This your latest one right here. I'm thinking that. Thank
That's
you so
yours,
much.
brother.
Thank you so much. Facebook Live. You have to get this book. Support Coach Kelly. Thank you so much. And I will see you on the 20th.
Yes, thank you,
And,
brother.
And we want to thank
King.
all of our listeners.
Thank you, sister.
Well, this has been great. My
Yes.
son told me this has been an absolutely phenomenal show. He was not wrong, and we got to have you back.
Yes.
Because we need to get back into this toxicity.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That
Yes.
we deal with, and we
Yes.
need to peel that scab off and
Yes.
take a look at that.
Yes.
Give that sore a chance to heal.
Yes.
You've been listening to The Doctor in the House with your host, Dr. Terry Mason, co-host Dr. Terry Mason Jr., and we've been right here on AM 1690 WVN. I want to thank all of you for listening. The next voice you're going to hear is that of my gospel sister, Miss Pam Morris, who's coming to make a joyful noise over this radio station. Until next week, at the same time and station, may God continue to bless each and every one of you with continued health and strength as I leave you now in peace.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yay!